Welcome back. Today we're doing Math Journal on page 23, but you will also need the vocabulary on page 17 available as well. So make sure you pull both those pages out so you can write on them and put them back in your journal when we're done. Add and subtract. Decimal numbers correctly. I will remember to always line up my place values and write placeholder zeros if necessary. Or let's write needed just because it's a shorter word. Okay? So, vocabulary for this lesson: decimal point, place value, ones, tenths, hundredths, and thousands. All right, get page 17 and pull it in front of you, please. All right, place value. Place value is the value where a digit is in a number. So it's the value of what that digit is in a number. Okay, the decimal point is a small dot used to separate the whole number part from the decimal part. Okay, the ones place is the place value just to the left of the decimal point. It represents the number of single whole units. So, on this side of the decimal, these are all whole numbers. 7 ones. This is 10, so this is one group of 10. This is 7 single whole units. Okay, the decimal point. Now let's talk about the next one. The tenths place is the place value just to the right of the decimal. Okay, just to the right of the decimal point. It represents the number of 1. Sorry, I meant to write the word 1. 1/10 or 1 out of 10 size pieces. So if you took one whole, chopped it into 10 equal pieces, this is how many of those pieces you would have. The hundredths place is even smaller. It's the place value 2 places to the right. Okay, seeing right here, 2 places to the right. So this is tenths. This is hundredths. This is out of 1. So 1/100th or 1 out of 100 size pieces. This is 10 times. Compared to tenths, they're 10 times smaller. Think about money. Tenths are like dimes. Hundredths are like pennies. It takes 10 pennies to make up 1 dime. Dimes are 10 times smaller than dimes. So hundredths are 10 times smaller than tenths. Okay, the thousands place is 1, 2, 3 place values to the right of the decimal. And it's representing the value of 1/100,000th. That means you took the whole unit and you chopped it up into 1,000 little tiny pieces. This is 10 times smaller than hundredths. And if you keep going, everything in this direction is 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller. So this would be the 10,000ths place, the 100,000ths, the millions. And it keeps on going and going. But these are going to be the ones that we're going to really focus on today. All right? So we are going to write some numbers. I'm going to say it out loud, and then we're going to write it. So the first one is 10 and 15. 10 and 15 thousandths. Okay, and is a good indicator of a decimal. So right here, I want you to write the word and. Okay, it's the decimal point, but and is kind of that key word. So 10, that would be 1, 10, 0 ones, 10 whole units, and 15 thousandths. Well, if I need 15, I can't put a 15 in the thousandths place, so that means the 5 will go here. So to make 15, that would mean that there would be 100th or 10 thousandths and 5 more. So what would be here? If I only have 15 thousandths, that would be a 0 right there. So 10 whole units and 15 out of 1,000 pieces. Okay, what about 2005 and 2/10? 2005 and 2/10. That tells me I have 2,000s. I never said anything about hundreds, so that would be a 0. 2,000, I didn't say anything about tens. 2005, that means there are 5 ones. These are all whole units. And 2/10. So in the tenths place, I would write a 2. Now, how many hundredths would that be then? There would be 0 hundredths. I can write a 0 if I want to. I can also leave it just like that. Okay, now what if I have 231 thousandths? 231 thousandths. The only name I heard was thousandths. That tells me all I have are going to be past the decimal. That means I have 0 whole units. So I'm going to put 0 here. I could fill these all up with zeros too, but this one is necessary just to say I have 0 whole units. So 0, 231 thousandths. Because I can only put 1 digit in each, 231 looks like this, right? So if I'm going to place that here, 1,000th, 31 thousandths would be a 3 here, so 231 thousandths would be here, which is also the same as 2/10, 3 hundredths, and 1,000th. But when we read the number, we would say 231 thousandths. Okay, so that's just a quick reminder about place value and in decimals. All right, a pro tip. When adding and subtracting decimal numbers, always line up the place values. Sometimes it is also helpful to annex. Annex means to write them in. You know they're there. Annex placeholder zero or placeholder zeros. Okay, the easiest trick for lining up place values is lining up the decimal. If the decimal's in the right spot and they're lined up, then all your place values are going to line up nicely. Okay, we are going to estimate here just so to make sure we get a good answer. So I have 2 whole units and 39 hundredths. To the nearest whole amount, That's about 2. 243. I'm going to leave that at 243. 243 plus 2, about 245. Okay, that's about where my answer should be. What I find students doing is, all right, 243. And then they'll want to write 2.39 underneath it, and then they start adding it together. You can't do that. This is 200s. If I start adding it with 2 wholes, that's ones place. I can't add those together and call it 400s. It doesn't work. So where is the decimal on 243? Think money. If this was money, I could add on a decimal and a 0 if I wanted. Did I change the value? Nope. I can annex another 0 if I want to as well. Okay, so the decimal is at the end of any whole number. So 243, I'm going to put a decimal right there. Okay, the decimal in this number is 2.39, 2 and 39 hundredths. Now, just to make it easier on myself, it's nice to have a placeholder 0 here and here, just so I don't miss anything. That way I see all the things I'm putting together. Just like it's possible if I want to, I can write a 0 here and a 0 here. So 0 plus 9 is 9. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. I have already made a common mistake. See if you can find my error. If this is a decimal and this is a decimal, I need to make sure that decimal lines up in my answer. That's because I'm putting 0 hundredths and 9 hundredths, so I have 9 hundredths. I'm taking 0 tenths plus 3 more tenths, I have 3 tenths. I'm taking 3 whole numbers plus 2 whole numbers, and I have 5 whole numbers. I have 4 tens with 0 tens, so I have 4 tens total. And then here I have 2 hundredths, I'm adding it to 0 hundredths, and I have 2 hundredths. Now, that was my estimate. This is my answer. How can I check it? I can subtract. Okay, let's try this one. 63 minus 14 and 936 thousandths. Okay, 63 is already a whole number, so I'm just going to leave it 63. But this is kind of an ugly decimal. What's it close to? Okay, quick reminder on rounding. I want to round to the nearest whole number, so I find my place, look next door, 5 or higher, raise the score. So this is a 9. That tells me it's going to be closer to 15 than it is to 14. So I'm going to say 15. Okay, 63 minus 15. 65 minus 15 would be 50. So 63 minus 15 would be 48. So my answer is going to be somewhere near 48. All right, let's plug in our numbers. Okay, since this is subtraction, I have to put 63 on top. So 63, where's the decimal on that 63? This is 6 tenths, 3 ones, and a decimal point. Because I have 0 tenths, 0 hundredths, 0 thousandths. This one has 3 behind the decimal, so that's why I decided to go 3 out. Now I'm going to subtract, lining up the decimal, 14 point, because this is 110, I'm minusing it from the tens. This is the 1, so I've got a minus from the ones. Then 9, 3, 6. Okay, all my place values are lined up, so I can accurately subtract. What I've seen happen is because of this, people will put this one on top and then minus 63 from over here. That doesn't work. You have to make sure your place values are lined up. So 0 subtract 6. Another error I see is 0 subtract 6 and they write 6. I can't have nothing, take away 6 and end up with 6. That's not how it works. So 3, I'm going to regroup and say no, I'm only going to have 2 holes in here, but that's going to give me 10 tenths. Borrow from here, regroup, there would be 9 here, regroup over here to make 10. Borrow 10, regroup. All right, now I have 10. I can take away 6, that gives me 4. 9 subtract 3 is 6. 9 subtract 9 is 0. Decimal point to separate my place values. 2 subtract 4 I cannot do, so I'm going to borrow and regroup. So 6, this is 12. 12 subtract 4 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 4. Is this answer close to my estimate of 48? Yeah, this is a really small amount of thousands. All right, let's do this last one. Okay, 4.38. Okay, find your place. I like to round to the nearest whole. Find your place, look next door, 5 or higher, raise a score. 3 is not 5 or higher, so I'm going to say that is closer to 4 than it is to 5. Okay, find your place, look next door. 9 is higher than 5, so I'm going to round up. So if this is 0, that means this is closer to 1 whole than it is to 0. So 1 minus, well, 3 I don't need to round because it's already a whole number. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is 5, and then 5 minus 3 equals 2. So my estimate is about 2. So let's do in order what we have from left to right. So 4.38, so 4 and 38 hundredths plus 0 and, so this would be 9 tenths, 100th, 2 thousandths. We're adding. Okay, I'm going to put a 0 placeholder here just to remind me. 0 plus 2 is 2. 8 plus 1 is 9. 3 plus 9 is 12. Regroup 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 0 is still 5. Okay, so that's what I got after adding. Now I've got to take that number and I'm going to subtract 3 from it. Okay, most common thing I will see is I will see students who write 3 right here. What is wrong with that? This is 3 whole units. This place value is thousands. That means it takes 1,000 pieces to make 1 whole unit. So can I be taking 3 whole units from 2 thousandths? No, I cannot. Units, the whole units place is the ones place that goes before the decimal. So 3, there are 0 pieces. So now I can minus. 2 minus 0 is 0. 9 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, guys. 2 minus 0 is 2. Sometimes I make errors. Good. I'm glad I caught it. 9 minus 0 is 9. 2 minus 0 is 2. And 5 minus 3 is 2. This is pretty close to my estimate of 2. My answer is 2 and 292 thousandths. Okay, rate yourself on this concept. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, circle it. And then you'll take a picture and put this back in your math journal.